we go. So, welcome to CDNY Live. My name is Cynthia Shaw, and I'll be hosting tonight's event, which is full of all sorts of creativity and surprises. We have a great lineup for tonight. We have Chris Carpenter and Deirdre Bialo-Padin, who will sing and play for us. We'll see videos and talk to Marisa Nicosia about her freelance journalism career. We have a fun Abbott's Bromley skit from Steve Howe and a cooking video from our own Paul Friedman. And we'll talk to clarinetist Danny Elias and see a video of him performing. Now, CDNY Live is sponsored by Country Dance New York and performs on the second and fourth Thursdays of every month. You can find a schedule on the CDNY calendar at cdny.org, where you can also make a contribution in support of this program and many others offered by CDNY. We thank them and our numerous sponsors and donors because honestly, without them, we would not be here at all putting on this program for you all. I'd also like to thank our producers, Annie Eden and Dominique Gagne, and our sound tech master, Galen Kirkpatrick. All right, now on to a quick Zoom tutorial. So the best way to see this show is to go to the upper right-hand corner of your screen and click Speaker View. And if you want to stop your video, go to the lower left-hand corner, which I think is down here, and press Stop Video. And if you want to hide the non-video participants, click on the little upside-down caret next to the video and click Video Settings, then scroll down until you see Hide Non-Video Participants, and check that box. Okay, you're all set. Now, tonight's performance is being live broadcast on the CDNY Facebook page. So if you are on Zoom and you don't want to be viewed on the live stream, definitely turn off your video. Also, that is where these performances are archived. So if you ever want to share this performance with someone else after the show, just send them to the CDNY Facebook page. All right, now, feel free to use the chat box, which is located in the lower center of your screen. It's a really great way to interact with everyone, and you'll see the Zoom chat is very busy throughout the performance. So join the fun and the tomfoolery. Also, I encourage you to please turn off your video, audio. Mute yourselves. All right, that would be great. All right. Now, as the evening progresses, if you have any questions or comments for the performers, you can type them into the chat box, and at the end of the evening, Annie Eden will read your questions. All right, now, on to the fun stuff. Since our last CDNY Live, it was Valentine's Day, the day of love. So, in the chat, why don't you post what you did on the day of hearts and arrows? And later on, I'll read some of your comments out loud. And if you didn't do anything, you can make up something fun that you wish you had done on Valentine's Day, all right? But post those comments, all right? Now, I'd like to invite Chris and Deirdre, who I'll tell you more about later, but to lead us in a call and response song. And the song we're going to be singing together is called One More Day, a sea chanty. Galen will put the lyrics on the screen for us to sing along with them. So, take it away, Chris and Deirdre.
Okay, I think we're unmuted and turning on original sound. Very good. So, this is a sea shanty. The chorus goes, one more day, me Johnny, one more day. Go and rock and roll me over, Johnny, one more day. So if you can remember the three words, one, more, and day, you got this. So.
And the idea is that this is going to be controlled cacophony. So if you want to sing along, you can unmute, and it's just going to be noisy, but have a good time.
Make sure you have original sound off, please.
Yes.
Original.
It's off.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Again, I feel like the Wilsons. Now's the time to leave her, Johnny.
One more day.
You swear you'd not deceive her, Johnny.
One more day.
Or we're homeward bound tomorrow, Johnny.
One more day.
And we'll leave her without sorrow, Johnny.
One more day.
Only one more day, me Johnny. One
more day.
come and rock and roll me over, Johnny.
One more day.
Don't you hear the old man calling, Johnny?
One more day.
You hear the first mate bawling, Johnny?
One more day.
Put on your long-tailed blues, me Johnny. One
more day.
day is nearly due, me Johnny. One more
day.
only one more
day, me Johnny.
One more day.
And rock and roll me over, Johnny.
One more day.
And roll me to my lover, Johnny.
One more day.
A starlight be my cover, Johnny.
One more day.
Only one more day together, Johnny. One
more day.
more gales nor heavy weather, Johnny. One
more day.
Only one
more day, me Johnny.
One more day.
And rock and roll me over, Johnny.
One more day.
Hear the old man growling, Johnny. One more
day.
You hear the striker bawling, Johnny.
One more day.
Hear the balls a falling, Johnny.
One more day.
Hear the blow a bawling, Johnny.
One more day.
Only one more day, Johnny.
One more day.
And rock and roll me over, Johnny.
One more day.
One more day a rolling, Johnny.
One more day.
You hear the gals a calling, Johnny.
One more day.
Only one more day a furling, Johnny.
One more day.
One more day a cursing, Johnny.
One more day.
One more day, Johnny.
One more day.
And rock and roll me over, Johnny.
One more
day.
Only one more day for you, me Johnny.
One more day.
Your pay is overdue, me Johnny.
One more
day.
About your long-tail blues, me Johnny.
One more day.
The trip is nearly through, me Johnny. One
more day.
only one more day, Johnny. One
more day.
and rock and roll me over, Johnny.
One more day.
One more day, me Johnny.
One more day.
And rock and roll
me over, Johnny.
one
more
day.
Bravo!
Cynthia.
That was fantastic, you guys. Wow. Thank you so much for leading in that song. I really love that song. That was just so wonderful. So now it's time for us to move on to one of our feature performers, Marisa Nicosia. And Marissa is going to talk to us about her publishing and reporting assignment, publishing and reporting an assignment to a final product. But first, let me tell you a little bit about her. She is an award-winning independent journalist and editor based in Peekskill. She studied journalism and English and dance at SUNY Brockport and began her career as a newspaper reporter and editor in Saratoga Springs. She left the corporate media world and for 3 years now has actually been on her own freelancing as a journalist, which is awesome. She mentors student writers through a nonprofit group called Girls Write Now, and she is an avid yoga speaker. So right now, Marissa has created 3 videos for us about her career, and I would like Galen to play the first video for us. Here it comes.
Hi, I'm Marisa Nicosia, and I'm an independent journalist. I've been in the industry for 13 years, and I've been freelancing full-time for the last 3 years. In my work, I conduct original reporting and research, and then I write and edit those stories for magazines, news websites, nonprofits, universities, and other types of clients. Sometimes I conceive and pitch my own story ideas, and other times I accept assignments from editors. I thought I'd give you a little glimpse into what it takes to bring a story from conception to publication. Full disclosure, I wanted to keep this kind of lighthearted, so I made this a very abbreviated version of my process. Mostly just the fun stuff. I hope you enjoy. Step 1. Conceive and pitch the story. Story ideas can come from anywhere. A conversation with a friend, a spark of inspiration while going about your daily routine, or from reading other stories. But it helps to know what you're interested in covering and know who your ideal audience might be. Pitching. You want to send a concise pitch to your editor and answer these questions. What is the story about? Why is this story important right now? Why is the story relevant to this outlet's audience? And finally, why am I the best person to write this story? While researching and writing your pitch, you want to identify who are the main characters or sources that you may have access to for this story. What is the central conflict? What other elements like photos, videos, or audio could I use to help tell the story in the most engaging way possible? Once you've answered these questions, fire off the pitch. And eventually, you'll get a green light from the editor. Let's hope. Got that green light? Great. Time to get down to work.
Anyway, that is really great. So I really look forward to seeing the next 2 videos, Marisa, and see how this story idea moves forward. And I love your really playful way. Who knew that you could get ideas while brushing your teeth?
It's true. They just pop up anywhere.
There you go. There you go. You could be eating your morning Cheerios and you get an idea. Oh, I'll have this. I think that's a really great idea.
A scenario, that's how it works.
All right, so we'll come back to you later. So now it's time for us to read what everybody, what they did for Valentine's Day. Let's see. So Dunbar Bernie said carry out. Maureen said she take out sushi. My husband David said hello, so hello. Dominique made green anti-Valentine's Day cake. No, just kidding. She had her friends, but her friends in Oberlin did. I love it. A CDSS, Steve Howe did a CDSS online winter family gathering. That's fantastic. Annie and Marty Marty sent her flowers and they had a lovely brunch. Let's see, Glenn camped in your living room and ate salmon from Alaska. I love that. Traveling without traveling. And Chris and Deirdre whispered sweet nothings to their cats. Well, it sounds to me like everybody had a really fun Valentine's Day. So thank you for sharing all of that. If later on, if you want to post more things, please definitely do that. All right. So now we got to meet Chris and Deirdre singing. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about them. So Deirdre and Chris are longtime Country Dance and Song Society members who have been active. Oh, I hear it. Go. Uh-oh, somebody, everybody needs to mute their videos.
Cynthia, unmute yourself.
There we go. They're longtime Country Dance and Song Society members who have been active in traditional music and dance community for many, many years. Deirdre started English dancing, contour dancing, and ritual dancing with CDSS in New York as a teenager. And then, besides being a talented singer, she is one of the founders of Half Moon Sword, which just celebrated their 35th year together, I believe. So that's really very exciting. And she also dances with Ring a Bells Morris. Chris is from Philadelphia, and he's a talented singer, as we know, we heard that, and of traditional songs. He's a multi-instrumentalist who plays for contour and English country dancing and Irish Cayley dancing. So during the pandemic, Chris and Deirdre have been regulars at a number of Zoom singing sections, including a Goylan, I hope I'm saying that right, in Dublin, Ireland, and Sharps in London. And recently, they were featured guests on the Orpington Singing Sessions in South London. So either they stayed up really late or they got up really early to be a part of those sessions. So I think that's pretty cool. So let's have them. I think it's time. Yes. So they have another song for us, and that song is called Going Down to Tampa.
And yes,
Can you hear us?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to sing Going Down to Tampa. Not that I have the slightest idea why anyone would want to go to Tampa. This is a song that I heard Jeff Davis sing, and Paul Brady, who used to play for some of the dances at CDNY, also sang this song. My mama, she told me when I was 9 years old, you've got to be a drifter, God bless your hard luck soul. Well, I've got my ticket, and to tell you what I think I'll do, going down to Tampa, settle down. Settle down, settle down, settle down. Settle down, settle down, settle down. I've got my ticket, and to tell you what I think I'll do, going down to Tampa, settle down. Conductor, conductor, won't you let me ride this line? You've got to have a ticket, you know this train ain't mine. Well, I've got my ticket, and to tell you what I think I'll do, going down to Tampa, settle down. Settle down, settle down, settle down. Settle down, settle down, settle down. I've got my ticket, and to tell you what I think I'll do, going down to Tampa, settle down. My mama, she told me, and my papa told me too, don't let them Bristol boys make a lovesick fool of you. Well, I've got my ticket, and to tell you what I think I'll do, going down to Tampa, settle down. Settle down, settle down, settle down. Settle down, settle down, settle down. I've got my ticket, and to tell you what I think I'll do, going down to Tampa, settle down. I'm going, and your crying won't make me stay. For the more of it you make trouble, the more you drive me away. Well, I've got my ticket, and to tell you what I think I'll do, going down to Tampa, settle down.
Settle down, settle down, settle down. Settle down, settle down, settle down. I've got my ticket, and to tell you what I think I'll do. Going down to Tampa, settle down.
Wow, thank you guys. That really makes me want to go down to Tampa, actually, and settle down. Oh, that was so great. Thank you so much. And I saw people singing along with you, even with their mutes off. So that was really, really quite lovely. So thank you. So right now I'd like to introduce Steve Howe, who is calling in or who is viewing in from up in Massachusetts. And Steve Howe, I don't know if you can unmute yourself. Are you there, Steve Howe? I hope you didn't leave. Anyway,
there, I unmuted myself.
Oh, there you are. Okay, great, great, great. Oh, great, great, great. So many of you may not know Steve Howe, but many of us know Steve Howe from Pinewoods Camp, and Steve Howe is a huge part of Country Dance and Song Society, a major dancer, a major organizer. And when I first met Steve, actually, it was at CDNY Dance, and you were the producer of the New York Christmas Revels. And so that was my first year in the Revels show. So I have very wonderful memories with you at that, and also with dancing with you at Pinewoods. So your name has come up a lot in this English dance lore, and about your, you probably didn't know that. I don't know if your ears are ringing or not. But anyway, just about the early years of Country Dance New York and how it was when you, because you were down here, and then you moved when CDSS moved to Massachusetts. So can you just tell us a little bit about that, what that experience was, or what CDNY was like then?
Well, I was the first president of CDNY. Bertha Hatbury was elected past president, and I was elected president when CDNY first was created. It was a wonderful time for the dancing in New York. One of the things that happened, one of my favorite stories about it is that Dwayne Hall said we couldn't dance till 11. We had to be gone at 11. So we had to end the dance at 10:45. And we thought that was going to be terrible. But what it meant is that at 10:45, when the dance ended, there were many more people who still had energy. And we ended up 20, 30, 40 people going to the Chelsea Garden after the dance every Tuesday, every Friday, every Saturday. And it was a great restaurant for us. They would do separate checks. They welcomed us. We had the whole back room. And the community, we talked with each other. We got to know each other as people, not just as dancers. Mm-hmm. And it really strengthened the community a whole lot. One of the disappointments when I moved up to Massachusetts was finding that the dance went till midnight. And it really meant that very few people got there at the beginning and left at the end. People came and went as individuals and didn't end the dance as a community and there certainly were groups who did do things together, but I felt it was a little harder to break into a group because it wasn't the whole group. So I really cherished those years with CDNY.
Yeah, that lasted for a long time. Even when I started dancing in '88, we were still going to the Chelsea for a long time, and there was a surly waitress. I remember her. But she really, she took care of us. So that was the really wonderful thing. Yeah. And it was easy to know people, just their names on the dance floor, but really know nothing about them at all. Yeah. So that's, I think, actually one of Annie's ideas for this variety show was for people to get to know each other a little bit better. So, during this time. So I would like to, we're going to play this video that you created for the recent Sordale. And for people who don't know, the Half Moon Sordale, so everyone needs to mute themselves. Yeah, thank you. Please mute yourselves. Thank you. So the Half Moon Sordale was in February. And because it couldn't be in person, it was online. So there were all sorts of hijinks that went on. And one of the things that happened was Steve created this amazing Abbas Bromley performance. And for those of you who don't know Abbas Bromley, it's a horn dance. The dancers actually dance with antlers on their heads, and they come out of the mist and the fog, and they do this dance, and then they sort of appear out of nowhere, and then they kind of mysteriously disappear out of nowhere, and you don't know who they are or what they are, or you don't even know if you were like in Midsummer Night's Dream or something. Anyway, so let's watch this amazing dance that Steve created, the pandemic Abbas Bromley.
Jeff Barry did actually do a slightly different version. That's the one I sent him, but then he overlaid one time through the tune. Topping, but it's still fun.
But it's still funny, yeah. So I don't know if everybody saw the man, woman, and the boy archer, and the hobby horse, and and as it was going on, Steve, I was like, "Is this a dream? Is this reality?" Anyway, that was totally brilliant. So thank you for being so clever in creating something so fun and wonderful and true to our pandemic times. All right, so I would like to now introduce another one of our guests tonight, who is Danny Elias, who is an amazing clarinet player. Now, unfortunately, Danny, just a few days ago, slipped and broke a few ribs. So he's not able to play the clarinet for us tonight, but we know that he will be on another future show to be able to play the clarinet for us. But I just wanted to read you a little bit about Danny because he's such an interesting person. He works as a lawyer, actually. He has his degree in economics and law, and he works as he represents injured people. So he's a really wonderful lawyer to have if you are an injured person and you need someone to represent you. But we all know him as a clarinet player, and he's part of, we know him from Brooklyn Swing Ensemble, where he plays jazz and klezmer and all sorts of great clarinet music. But he's also part of a Ladino group called the Elias Ladino Ensemble, which performs the songs of Sephardic Jews. And he's performed with them many, many, many times. He performed with his father for many years. In fact, I'd like to bring Danny on and just talk to you a little bit about your music career and your highlights. And if it hurts you to talk too much, then
No, I just can't laugh or cough, or definitely no sneezing.
Okay, so please don't sneeze.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you think in your music career? Like, what was the highlight? Like, what has been the highlight of your music career in all of the amazing things that you do?
That's a good question. It's hard to say. One of the highlights was on January 2nd, maybe 3 years ago, we played at Drum, which is a nightclub on the East Village. And it was really, really, really very fun, and had this huge sound system. It's like you talked into it and the whole entire place was filled with you. And we played and we had a full group of people and we mixed it with some belly dancing. And I was singing the songs that I learned from my father, who learned them from his mother, the Spanish Jews. And so, that was a highlight. The highlight is being able to play so many different kinds of music, because I grew up listening to so many different kinds of music. And so that was totally...
I know you play klezmer, you play Ladino, you play contradance, you play swing, you play like just pretty much everything.
I used to even play classically. I played a concerto with an orchestra once. It was totally fun.
Well, honestly, we look forward to having you back on the show when you can like really play something for us. And I'm sorry that you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, I represent injured workers, but I wasn't working at the time I fell down the stairs, so I can't represent myself. So
there's no one to sue except yourself, right?
Exactly. But nobody can sue me either, so it's a good deal.
There you go. So like, I'll just ask you one more question. Like, how do you find your gigs? How do you find the things that you
Well, that's one of the challenges of, working, a fairly demanding job, and until recently having the kids around. My kids are gone now, and all that, just adding more stress of trying to manage a career. So mostly I didn't push doing more than contradances, and contradances, after a while the same people get to know you and they call you up and say, how about this, how about that, and
right.
And so that's pretty good. And then if I were more aggressive and more focused, I could be probably playing Sephardic songs a lot more in a lot more places.
Yeah.
I really grew up in the tradition and learning it from the old folks.
Yeah. Do you remember that you actually played a concert for my sister's then grandmother-in-law? Do you remember that? With Amy?
I do, in your house.
My sister's house, yeah. It was
right.
It was a birthday party, and it was with Amy Mitz. She sang, and you played the clarinet, and I played the
She sang Romania, Romania, Romania. Yes, and I remember I played for your wedding also.
That's right. You played for our wedding, so you get around, man. You get around.
I get around. Mostly.
So let's play. Danny does have a video for us all to watch. So this video is called is a tune that there are 5 people playing actually in this video, and it's a beautiful tune called "Leaving Sun Country." So let's pull this up. Wow, Danny, that was so lovely. Congratulations. That was
Thank you.
beautiful. Wow. Is that a tune of your own?
That's a tune I wrote, yes.
It's really, really beautiful. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you-
I was lucky to play with those guys. The Charles Abel has a band called Lake Effect. He's been in a bunch of bands, and he's up in the Rochester area, and I was doing a bunch of work with him. And he said, "Hey, let's do your tune." I said, "Hey, let's do it."
You're like, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That was really beautiful. So
Thank you.
I really look forward to you getting to feeling better and coming back on and playing more.
Me too. I look forward to being able to play some more and play again.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So thanks. So let's see. So we're gonna bring back Chris and Deirdre. And they have, I just want to tell you some things. I'm going to ask you guys a question, so you have to unmute yourselves, Chris and Deirdre. So, Deirdre, in addition to being working for the DA's office, right, which you've retired from now, but you're also an amazing jeweler and a metalsmith. And you wrote that you have a patent application pending on your unique design for cable needles used in knitting. So can you tell us a little bit about your jewelry work?
Well, I'll just be really quick to say that when you're on call 24/7 for nearly 30 years and dealing with really violent crime, there needs to be an outlet in order to treat your spouse really well. So I started making jewelry and doing silversmithing because you can really process a lot using heavy hammers and an anvil. So jewelry was really a really important outlet to balance the other kind of work that I did. And it sort of evolved from there. I'm very give me a problem, I can solve it, whether it's a criminal justice issue or I need something to hold my hair up or I need to have a better knitting needle. So that's how it started.
So there you go. There you go. So you all should follow her on Instagram because she posts pictures of her works and they're just so beautiful. I have a couple of them myself, so they're really quite lovely. And then Chris, I'll ask you this question. You said that you've always been interested in Russian culture and history.
Yes.
And that once on the street in Brooklyn, tell the story about the woman coming up to you.
Oh my God. Well, we were in the subway station at J Street. Or was it? Yeah. And we were coming out of the subway station and this little lady, she must have been 5 feet tall and she was round, 5 feet tall and 5 feet wide. And she was, and she was speaking so fast, but I could tell it was Russian because I studied Russian in high school and college. And so I said to her, "Медленно, пожалуйста, говорите, медленно, slowly, please speak slowly." And she said, she mouthed the word up, "Медленно, da." And then she gave me an address. I still remember, 350 J Street. And I say to her, Deirdre, who was with me, she wants 350 J Street. Okay, no problem, we'll take you. And so my thing was, how did she know to talk to me?
Right.
It's in the subway. There were a million people all around. She comes up to me. I don't know why. So.
Well, I mean, you do have your hat on right now that looks like a Russian hat, and you do have the beard, so maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so you were exuding Russianness, so. Anyway, but now you get to sing another song.
Okay.
So you're going to sing St. Brendan's Fair Isle on, well, I guess you're going to play it on the guitar. Wait, are you going to sing?
I've got a guitar here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna. You do that? Did you turn on? Okay. And so this is a traditional Irish song that was composed by Jimmy Driftwood, and it was collected on Mick Maloney's front porch in Philadelphia off of a 78 RPM record. So I hope you enjoy it. And there's a chorus, which you can sing with yourselves. And it goes, "Oh, we sail for St. Brendan's Fair Isle, Fair Isle. Oh, we sail for St. Brendan's Fair Isle. When I was a lad on the Emerald Isle, I heard many stories, both lovely and wild, about the great dragons and monsters that be, that swallow the ships when they sail on the sea. Though I was an artist with canvas and paints, I sailed with St. Brendan and his jolly saints. We told the good people goodbye for a while. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle. We'd been on the ocean for 94 days. We came to a spot where the sea was ablaze. Those demons from Hades were dancing with glee and burning the sailors alive on the sea. Then St. Brendan walked on the blistering waves. He threw all the demons right back to their caves. And all of the saints bore a heavenly smile. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle. At night while the brethren were lying asleep, a great dragon came up from under the deep. It thundered and lightened and made a great din. It awakened St. Brendan and all of his men. The dragon came on with his mouth open wide. We threw in a cross and the great dragon died. We skinned it and cooked it and feasted a while. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle. At last we came unto that beautiful land. We all went ashore and we walked on the sands. We took our long bows and we killed us as bull. We roasted it up and had hot barbecue. Then after a while we were singing the song. We noticed the island was moving along. We ate and we drank and we rode in high style. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle. St. Brendan said, boys, this is much to my wish. We ride on the back of the world's biggest fish. Hold fast to the rope that is pulling the ship. We'll need it someday if this fish takes a dip. We sailed every ocean, we sailed every sea. We sailed every spot that a sailor could be. In 44 days we sailed 10 million miles. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle. Oh, we sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. Oh, we sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle.
Wow. Wow. What a rousing song, right? And I love that guitar playing in the background. It really just brings everything up so beautifully. Your voice sounded so great, Chris. Thank you so much. It was great. All right. So now I know many of you were thinking, but what happened to our cooking segment? We haven't had our cooking videos yet. Well, you are in luck because tonight we are going to learn from the messy kitchen from Paul Friedman. So Paul Friedman, we'll play your video and then I'll have you, because anyway, we're going to learn something very, very important that we want to do in the kitchen. So let's play Paul's first video.
Welcome to another episode in CDNY's Pandemic Cooking Series. Today, we're going to learn how to toast a bagel. First thing is to get a bagel. Now, there are a lot of things that look like bagels, So we have to make sure we get the correct one. This is a roll of electrical tape. We don't need that. We use that for other things. This is a donut. It looks like a bagel, but it's not a bagel, it's a donut. This is a bagel. Next thing is to slice the bagel. I put the bagel in our bagel slicer. Put on your safety goggles. Because you don't want a sesame seed jumping off that bagel and hitting you in the eye. And now carefully we slice this bagel. Now here's the bagel sliced. Now some bagels are too thick to fit in an ordinary household toaster. If that's the case with your toaster, you take your bagel press and you press down gently on your bagel. Get it nice and flat. That'll fit in any household toaster. You insert the bagel into the toaster. And you put the toaster down. You set your kitchen timer on 12 minutes. But don't leave the toaster at any point, because some toasters are faster than others. So now we're just waiting for the bagel to toast to perfection.
Oh my gosh, I am totally losing it here.
That was very instructive.
That was amazing, Paul. Paul, you have to come on. Turn your sound on, because I have to talk to you about your kitchen technique.
Okay, I think it's on.
So, Paul, how did you learn how to do this very important task about cutting that bagel? And I mean, it was brilliant. How did you learn that technique?
A lot of it is just observation, going out and going to a store and saying, "May I have a bagel, please?" and then watching what they do and
So
picking up techniques.
Did you
Just
study
like
with a master Zen bagel teacher or anything like that?
No, I actually just picked it up on my own. I just have a knack for that kind of thing.
Well, obviously you have the right tools too.
Yeah, it's important to have the right tools
Yeah,
for any job.
Yeah,
You need the right tools, yes.
Yeah, well, and I was glad to see your dog there in the kitchen helping, peeking.
Yeah, that's
around.
Perry.
Perry?
Perry, yeah, he hangs around wherever there's food.
He's a smart dog. Well, I'm beside myself with happiness, because now I know what to do about at least cutting the bagel. I mean, we have another half to find out the end of the bagel. So I look forward to the second half of this video.
Yeah, me too.
Do you know how it turns out?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
Okay. All right. Well, it'll be a surprise for all of us. All right. We shall chat later. All right.
Okay, I'll be back.
All righty. So now, we're still wondering about Marisa and how she, about her story creation. So let's watch the next installment of Marisa's journalism video.
3 of the process includes research, outlining, and reporting. So as you're researching, it's very important to vet sources thoroughly before you pick up the phone to call them. Check out their social media profiles, read interviews they've given in other media outlets, peruse their websites. Keep an eye out for any controversial or incriminating news stories that involve them or their organization, their family members, and associates. You don't want to be surprised by something they've done in the past after you've already quoted them in your story. For an investigative piece, you'll probably need to conduct a formal public records search. After your interview, you'll probably want to follow up in an email to your source and do more research to verify or clarify any statements they made or any statistics that they provided. Step 4, Writing Day.
Well, I look forward to seeing whether the editor liked your piece and whether it was accepted. That was pretty exciting. And I couldn't tell if you had whiskey in that final glass or Coca-Cola. So, or maybe tea, I don't know. But maybe it was whiskey.
It was whiskey.
It was whiskey. There you go. That was fantastic. All right, so we'll find out more in your next video. I would like to take a moment to remind everyone that they can make a donation directly to CDNY to support this program and others. The link will be put into the chat, and if you can give generously and often. All right, so now we have a word from our sponsor, OOMPA, the Order of Musical Professionals and Heroes.
OOMPA, the Organization of Musical Performers and Heroes. OOMPA. OOMPA.
What a professional organization that is. Everyone, please support OOMPA wherever you find them. Thank you, Chip and Danny, for that. All right, so we have another performance by Chris, who is going to play live for us on the mandolin a wonderful tune called Loftus Jones.
Unmute, turn on original sound. All right, good, I'm good. Okay, so as Cynthia said, this is a tune called Loftus Jones. It's a composition by Turlough O'Carolan, a blind itinerant Irish harper who traveled around in Ireland in the 17th century, and he composed tunes for his various patrons. And so this is one of those tunes. Just pretend that this mandolin is a harp. What'd you do?
I didn't touch it.
I
Go over to the
Go to what?
go over to the Zoom thing. There.
Ah, there we are. Hi.
okay.
All right. Turn
Not yet.
off original sound.
You need to turn off original sound, please.
I just did. I'm unmuted. I can't hear Cynthia.
I'm not talking. Oh, now I'm talking. Okay, great.
That was tremendous. I don't know what happened there, but okay.
So for everybody, just so you know, if Chris doesn't change this little setting on his computer, then anybody who talks will echo back and forth, and it's just like really, really annoying. So I have to wait for that. So there's one thing you guys have to say, which you told us yesterday about that particular tune.
Yes, and I apologize. Yeah, I neglected to say that particular tune was the recessional at our wedding 17 years ago at the picnic house in Prospect Park.
Oh.
And what was the name of the band?
Grand Picnic.
Grand Picnic played that for us.
Oh, I've heard of that band.
I've heard of that band.
Anyway, that was fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, now I bet everybody is wondering about that bagel that is toasting in the toaster for 12. It must be 12 minutes now, right? So let's play the second video and see how the bagel came out.
Let's check our bagel and see if it's ready. Ah, there it is. Perfection. Now, you don't want to eat it like that. You have to top it off with some sun-dried tomato cream cheese. Just spread it symmetrically around the bagel. Be generous with it now. No skimping. There. Now, what do you think of that? Okay. Now comes the test. Very good. I'm going to finish this after the show. Thanks very much for tuning in with CDNY's pandemic cooking class. See you next time.
Thank you, Paul. Oh, thank you, thank you. And I like how your schmear turns into like a mountain load of cream cheese. Do you still have that bagel? Did you finish it?
Yeah, I did finish it. All by myself.
All by yourself? It looks really good. So I can hardly wait till the next time you're on the show and you can offer some more cooking lessons to us. I think that we all will really look forward to that.
Yeah, I don't really know how to make much else, but I'll think of something.
Okay. Put your thinking cap on, as my mother would say.
Okay.
All right, anyway, thank you. Those were really fun. Thank you so, so much.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Great. Now we finally get to finish Marisa's video and see how her writing project and see whether she got published and whether her editor liked it and wanted to publish her piece. And I hope she didn't drink too much whiskey.
Step 5, edits and fact checking. So this is a collaborative process, usually with your editor, who will make suggested changes and ask you to revise parts of your story. And you may go back and forth a couple of times. When most of this is done, toward the end of the process, you want to fact check. I always triple check the accuracy of quotations, the spellings of people's names, dates, people's ages, and any math or statistics in the story. You want to make sure all the numbers add up. You also want to ensure that every statistic is attributed to an authoritative primary source, such as an academic study, a reputable organization, or an individual researcher. Step 6, publication day. The day has come. Your story goes live online and or it's published in print. Promote that work on your social media, email it to all your friends and family members, and very, very importantly, hit that invoice so you get paid. I update my financial spreadsheet and then it's back to the drawing board to start the steps all over again. So those are the 6 main steps for bringing a news story from reporting to publication. I hope you learned something, and if you want to learn more about my work or journalism in general, feel free to follow me at Marisa Nicosia on all the socials. Shoot me a message, and I would love to continue the conversation. Thanks.
Wow, thank you so much, Marisa. That was really, really great. And I'm glad that you posted your social media on there so that we can all follow you. So interesting. It must be so gratifying to do all of this work and then finally see your piece in print. How is that for you?
Yeah, that's a good feeling. Yeah, it's really gratifying. And some pieces can take like months if it's a magazine piece. So that is a sweeter reward 6 months later.
That's fantastic. You sent me 5 things about yourself, and the one that I like the best, I liked many of them, but the one I like the best is you said, my interest in reporting was sparked at the age of 11 when my 4th grade teacher assigned the book Harriet the Spy by Louise Fitzhugh. So tell us about your spy kit and what you did with that spy kit.
Oh my, it's a funny memory. My mom could probably tell it better. When I read the book, I just became enamored with Harriet the Spy. I'm sure some of you have read that book or are familiar with the movie from a bunch of years back. So I just put together a spy kit with things that were in my house, put on my raincoat, and I had a black and white marble composition book and a magnifying glass, and I wandered around my neighborhood and scribbled down what I thought my neighbors were up to. And that was the beginning of my journalism career.
There you go. Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad that it actually, you followed your dream and now you're doing it. So that's a beautiful thing. So thank you so much for creating the videos and for being on our show and sharing your career and how you do everything. I think that's really fantastic. So
thanks. I just want to give a shout out to my teachers, including my 4th grade teacher, because they're the ones who instill love of whether it's journalism or something else in so many kids. So
it's amazing how much effect teachers can have on students, and they might not even know it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness for your 4th grade teacher. All right. So Chris and Deirdre are going to sing one more song for us. We're getting to the end of our show, but they have one more song for us that they're going to perform called Generations of Change. And even though all of us are muted, I think that I'm sure there's a chorus in there somewhere that we can all join in our muted way. So Chris and Deirdre, take it away.
Okay.
So while Paul has been working on his culinary skills, my pandemic hobby has been learning how to maintain a tune while Chris sings harmony. So we'll see how that goes.
Don't forget your right hand over your ear.
Okay. Get the note again. My father was a bailee from a wee farm in Capley. He worked on the land all the days of his life. By the time he made second, I said he'd reckoned. He plowed near on half of the East Neuk of Fife.
He feed on at Randerson, Craw Hill and Clappenton, Cambo and Carnby and Big Rennie Hill. At King's Barn he married, at Boar's Hill he's buried. But man, had he lived, he'd be plowing on still. For those days were his days, those ways were his ways, to follow the plow while his back was still strong. But that times have passed and the time come at last for the weakness of age to make way for the young.
I wasna for plowing to the seas I was going, to follow the fish and the fishermen's ways.
In rain, hail, and sunshine I've watched the lang run line, no man more contented his whole working days. I've lined the flooding ground, the Dutch and the Dodger bank, pulled the big fish frae the deep devil's hole. I've side-trolled off Shetland, the Faroes and Iceland, in weather much worse than a body could thole. For that day was my way, that way was my way, to follow the fish while my back was still strong. But that day has passed and the time come at last for the weakness of age to make way for the young.
My sons, they have grown and away they have gone to search for black oil in the far northern sea.
Like oilmen they walk and like Yankees they talk. There's not much in common between my sons and me. They've rough-rigged on Josephine, Forties and Ninian, Claymore and Dunlin, Fisher and Dock. They've made fortunes for sure, for in one run ashore they spend more than I earned in a whole season's work. But this day is their day, this way is their way, to ride the rough rigs while their backs are still strong. But this day will pass and the time come at last for the weakness of age to make way for the young.
My grandsons are growing and to school they're soon going, but the long weeks of summer they spend here with me.
We walk through the warm days, talk of the old ways, the cornfield, the codfish, the land and the sea. We walk through the fields that my father once tilled, talk with the old men that once sailed with me. Man, it's been awful good, I've shown them all I could, of the past and the present, what their future might be. For the morn will be their day, what will be their way? What will they make of their land, sea, and sky? Man, I've seen awful change, but it still seems sky strange to look at my world through a young laddie's eyes. My father was a bailie from a wee farm at Capley. He worked on the land all the days of his life. By the time he made second, I said he'd reckoned he'd plowed near on half of the East Neuk of Fife.
Thank you guys so much. That was so beautiful. And Deirdre, you did not miss that melody at all. That was fantastic. And you should see the comments. People are saying, oh, your voices are so beautiful together. They could just hear you over and over again. So I think you can really be proud of your work together and just, it's really, really beautiful. So thank you for sharing your talent with us.
Thank you.
Well, we are here at the end of our show. Almost. We have one more thing. We have the dance party, but I would like to just let everyone know about the final looking ahead, other CDNY events. This Friday, Sarah Banley, who was on our show a couple of weeks ago, pianist and folk singer, will be featuring her favorite, which is the music of Turlough O'Carolan. And Chris sang that O'Carolan tune, played the O'Carolan tune, so you know how beautiful they are. She will be joined by Helen White on flute, a CDNY member, and George Boswick on harmonica, and they'll perform the music of Ireland's national composer O'Carolan. Also, then next Thursday is another edition of CDNY Lore with Margaret Berry and Chip Prince. And so that should be very wonderful. They're highlighting the dances and choreography to tunes by Henry Purcell. They say Purcell wrote the music for the London stage's own day and has gone on to collaborate posthumously in many English country dances that we know and enjoy. So Margaret and Chip will really regale us with wonderful Purcell tunes and stories about Purcell. These two events and many other CDNY events are all listed on the cdny.org webpage, where you can always, there's a little calendar on the left-hand side, and the Zoom link is always there. Also, all of the programs are archived on the CDNY Facebook page. So if you missed a program and you want to check it out, just go to Facebook and you'll find the archives. I would like to thank all of our guests tonight. We had so many. It was just so awesome and just so many different things. Chris Carpenter, Deirdre Bialo-Padin, Marisa Nicosia, Steve Howe, Paul Friedman, Danny Elias, Chip Prince, and Dominique Gagne. And of course, our producers, I want to thank Annie Eden, Dominique Gagne, and our tech director, Galen Kirkpatrick. And special thanks to Country Dance New York and all of our donors and sponsors. Our final dance party has two tunes played by Dominique and Chip Prince. The first is the jig, The Female Sailor, and the second is a tune called Jig Economy, which is based on, it's sort of a play on words of gig economy. And that second tune is written by Chip Prince. Before we play the video, Dominique just has a word to tell you about the video. So Dominique, just tell us that one thing.
Okay, so you'll see I had to fill some time at the beginning of the video because I wasn't supposed to be playing yet. So you'll see a hammock, and that's because I was just in Costa Rica. And so it was a really amazing trip. And there's going to be a cooking show, a cooking video based on some stuff that I was able to buy in a special market there. So I won't give it away. And I just want to make a plug for, we're always looking for more contributions from the community. So videos about your job or your hobbies, skits, any musical talent, original songs, and most especially anybody who has a funny bone, wants to contribute some humor to our show. So I put my email in the chat. So please be in touch with me if you would like to be a part of this, because this is a true work of the community.
Thank you so much, Dominique. All right, so let's hear this tune. And if this tune makes you feel like dancing, then I encourage you to get up and dance. Thanks. Wow, that was really wonderful. That was really so, so great. Thank you guys so, so much. You would think that you were all like in the same room, right? Well, Chip was in the same room with Chip, but nonetheless. Thank you everybody for coming tonight.